this Friday, which will be the 13th of June, Friday the 13th. We've seen one too many movies. This Friday, the boardroom gets a bold remix. Over 130 young South Africans will gather at Standard Bank's head office in Rosebank, not just to listen, but to lead. The second annual Connect Youth in Dialogue Summit, hosted by A Seat at the Table, invites youth and decision makers into one room for real, unfiltered dialogue under the theme Voices of Change, Shaping Our Future Together. Joining us now is the driving force behind it all, Vuyelwa Diniso, founder and director of A Seat at the Table. Vuyelwa, thank you so much for your time and welcome to The Upside.
Hello, thank you. Thank you so much, Pati. How are you?
I am fantastic. Before we get into conversation about the summit, A Seat at the Table, tell us about it.
A Seat at the Table is not just an organization. It's a movement for change, whereby we gather the youth and we equip them with the resources, the networks, in order to be great leaders one day in the country, So our vision is to create global ambassadors. Equipped to global ambassadors for them to sit in places where it matters. So we provide them with these networks, with these resources. We make them these great leaders. So that's what A Seat at the Table is about. Where they connect, they engage, and they are inspired. And in essence, we also believe that it's not just about being invited to sit on these tables, but it's about also creating your own table. So that's what Sit at the Table is about. We're looking for these leaders who are change makers, who want to be part of us, and we're providing them with that platform.
An important platform, Vuyelwa, because we are still in Youth Month in June in South Africa, and therefore we need such platforms to give the youth a seat at the table. And by youth, Vuyelwa, are you talking about up to the age of 35, or are you specifically talking about younger than that?
No, up to the age of 35 and maybe also 40. We don't want to exclude people, but yeah. Up to the age of 35, come join us. If you're also 40, come. Don't be shy. We're open to you as well.
I love that. Let's talk then about the Connect Youth in Dialogue Summit. How did this come about?
This is our second summit. And how did it come about? In our mission to just encourage this youth and get them to participate, we decided to come with this dialogue and invite this youth, and it's a voices of change, to empower this youth to have a voice, to sit with the big businesses, the mentors, and have a voice where it matters, So that's how it came about, and we hope they'll come and they'll be able to voice their voices, to know that their actions matter, their voices matter, and to assist the country in being better, not just sit at home and complain and whine as to why is this happening? Why am I not being included? Why is this happening in the country? But also to know that your voice matters, your story matters. You can also do something about it.
And Vuyelwa, besides the youth who will be in attendance, talk to us about the delegates that will be a part of the summit.
Besides the youth, it's going to be mentors. By mentors, I mean trailblazers from different industries. Obviously, Standard Bank, our great sponsor, will be there. We also have our partners. Some other banks, competitors will be there. Also, creatives will be there. People from actually different industries will be there. So you don't have to, don't stay away thinking that, no, I'm not an accountant, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a whatever. So it's a space for everyone to come. Even if you're unemployed, you can come and network and see how you can make a change and be inspired by those conversations.
As a seat at the table, what does real youth leadership look like in South Africa? And are we creating enough platforms and spaces for the youth to lead?
What does youth leadership look like? I think you are aware that the youth has been has been sidelined in some instances. So now we are providing them accessibility, visibility. So what does youth leadership mean? It means providing that youth a space to lead, providing them the space with their expertise, because they do, but they just don't have the space to practice, to do that business, to be in boards. So youth leadership is them taking up that space and being those leaders. Yeah, and also just knowing the responsibility of that, because it's one thing to have the position and it's another knowing the responsibility of what it comes with.
And post the summit, will they receive any additional support? Because it's one thing to go to a summit and hear the amazing insights and get mentors to speak into you and inspire you and encourage you. But what then happens after the summit when you start implementing? Will there be room and space for post mentorship and guidance?
Yeah, no, sit at the table members, they become sit at the table members firstly. That's what happens after the summit. We absorb them. And when you're now a sit at the table member, that's when you get access to our networks. You get access to, when we discuss employment, job opportunities, we discuss mentorship, we discuss mental health. When people are having any issues, they can come talk to us. We absorb them into our pillars. We have 5 pillars. It's board mastery, where we teach them about how to conduct themselves in boards. We have connect education, where some leaders go into schools and inspire them, so they can also be those leaders who are change makers instead of just sitting back and saying, "Please give me," And we have connect community. They can go assist the youth and people who are in need. We have a Connect Dialogue, which I lead, where they can partake in these conversations, where they are inspiring the youth, bringing trailblazers. So in essence, after the summit, they can sit at the table members and now start participating in what we do, and not only being mentored, but also be the change that they are looking for to other people who are in need.
It is the second, shall we say, second annual event of Seat at the Table, connecting the youth. Last year's one, or the previous edition, would you like to share some success stories that came from it and that made you believe that this is absolutely needed?
From the last one, we saw the hunger from the youth, that these people actually wanted these conversations and they got helped. We also brought trailblazers, and amongst other topics we discussed was about energy and the significance of it and the youth being involved in that, and also policy making and including the youth in those policy making spaces and building that need or wanting or yearning to also be part of such discussions. There was a number of them who attended. There were lots of questions that were asked. And from there were also connections, because as you attend, there's other trailblazers and other business people who are attending, and they raise their hands and they say, "I want to assist this young person." So there were a couple of young leaders who were assisted in that platform. But it's very, very important to show up on that table and make your voice be heard. Don't just show up and disappear. You also need to be proactive. So and we're always ready and open to assist you.
When it comes to the young people, a lot of them are seeing careers budding out of social media. Now we are seeing more creatives, more content creators. Will the summit address some of the challenges that particular industry deals with on a daily basis, where the opportunities are somewhat there, they are not there, the lines and the policies are not clearly outlined to protect them? How do you then go about inspiring them, especially when they want to get into this space? They're seeing all their favorite influencers on there and they want to be a part of this community.
Firstly, I think you are aware that I think the creative space has issues with policies and laws, and and also after they age, it becomes unsustainable. And it's very important that we have some legislation which speaks to that and the sustainability of being part of that space. So the youth now coming into this space of ours and meeting other creatives, and also legal minds, they can come about and start participating in the policy making, because when they issue these bills, they do invite the country or the youth and everybody to participate, but the youth is always reluctant to state their inputs. So now when they're part of us, we can all collaborate and say, these are the issues that we're facing. Let's put up a paper to the government. Let's send our inputs as well to say, we want this to be changed. We want this to be addressed. These are the issues that we're facing. So the creatives can attend that. They can come and do that. And they can also be encouraged to speak more about it, to say these are our issues and we want them to be changed, instead of just sitting back. And the nice thing about speaking in a platform like ours is that things don't just disappear. We literally try to make the change. We follow up on these things. We participate. We go and find those people who can help us to make these things come about, to be fixed. So if the creatives come and they want to further their interests and it's in an ethical way, we can try to assist them.
I love that.
See how we can go about that.
I love that. And Vuyelwa, where can people find tickets and be a part of this movement tomorrow?
They can check our LinkedIn page, firstly, for the invitation link. They can also just check out the Sit at the Table website for all future invites and this event's invitation, and register. And not just only the summit, but we have monthly events. Our program is very proactive and always moving. They can also participate in that. But they need to be willing youth, not just bystanders or people who just want to just sit and watch, in order for this platform to work for them. Hence, I said it's a movement for change. So we are looking for that youth that says, I want to make a change. I want to participate. I want to do this. I've got a great idea and I want it to move forward. I'm just looking for the space to be able to further that.
Well,
so if there are those people.
Vuyelwa, thank you so much for your time, and we certainly hope that they've been inspired and that they will join you tomorrow. The voice there of Vuyelwa Diniso, founder and director of A Seat at the Table. Connect Youth in Dialogue Summit will be taking place tomorrow. It is now 2 p.m. Central African Time. Onelwa Nsinzi has your news.
SABC News.